am the king, 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 king. I am the king, 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 king. I am the king, 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 king. I am the king, 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 king. I am the king.
What it is, Kings of the Village is back after a long break, and we are with the legendary Majastique.
Don't do that.
Majastique.
There we go.
Ambrosia. She's in the building today. We're going to be talking about the state of the world and much more, and the world and the war against trans, black people, and everybody in between. And plus, we got a new president, and we're going to talk about why I'm a Republican. That and more is all next on the Kings of the Village, the last show of 2020, and we'll review what's happening in 2021. Stay with us. You can find us live everywhere on any streaming platforms.
I am the king and will not be.
All right, welcome in. Kings of the Village. Listen, a lot has gone on this year, but we have finally got the president that you guys decided on. Some 80 million people decided to put Kamala and Biden in the White House. We're going to talk about why I'm a Republican, but why I did not and will never vote for Donald Trump and people who support him. But more importantly, our special guest from the House of Ambrosia.
Oh, I'm introducing myself?
Nope, I already introduced you. I already told them who you were.
Okay, well, it's Majastique. Hello.
We already know who you are. We figured that out already.
Well, you had a long pause, so I thought I had to insert something, so I did.
No, we just let the world know. We just give you all your glory and all your extraness.
Well, you've been doing this.
Once we get in our studio, I want to be able to record so people can see what I get to see. All this. Can you describe what you got on, what you're looking like, what you're wearing, and why?
I am a red bride. I mean, just because white, it's not it. I'm sorry.
Aren't you part white, though? You're white.
Wait, hold on. You trying to get into race conversations and all.
We're going to get into all that. That's important.
Well, that is important, but you asked me a question about what I'm wearing, not race, sir. So, stay on topic. Thank you.
Oh, I'm on topic. Any topic I bring up on my show is on topic.
Yeah, that's fine. But
we need to talk about why you're a Republican.
You're the Republican. Shit.
So Majastique is here. Before we get started, where can people find you and how they support you online? Where are you at?
You can support me. My Cash App, first of all, because
I know that's right. But no OnlyFans, just Cash App.
No, you don't get to see all the goods, but she'll give you a little hint, and then that's about it. You can support me monetarily on Cash App. My Cash App is Starboy88. Don't ask the queen why she has Starboy as a name, but that's it. Get over it. My Instagram name, another way that you can follow me, is at Majastique the Queen, and it is MAJASTIQUETHEQUEEN. Majastique the Queen.
And before all of that, where do you currently perform at before we get into all the questions I have about you?
I currently perform at The Parlor in downtown Kansas City, Missouri.
And how's that going for you? How long you been doing that?
I've been doing it for, we'll say about, a month and a half now? I've been performing for a month and a half now, but I've been exploring and building Majastique and putting this bad bitch together for going on 10 months now.
Why decide to get in the life of performance? Why just not doing other things? Is performance the beginning, the all being, or you plan to do other stuff like acting, singing, road tours, or you just, what are you exploring?
Well, I've always loved to act. Like I said, I am a bad bitch. I'm sexy as fuck as a man, and I'm sexy as fuck as a woman. So either way, she's bad. So I do like to model.
Oh, you model too?
I've never done any professional modeling, so I'm not going to be that one to do that and say that. But I do plan on eventually pursuing acting and modeling. But I still want to explore it in drag, just because It's the shit.
What is the state of the world of drag right now? What does that look like in the 2020, 21st century? And you said you just start performing a month, so that means you've been performing during COVID. What does that look like and felt like?
Well, there's not a lot of people who come out. And I mean, obviously, we're all trying to be safe and stay home, so I understand. But really, I'm performing right now in COVID. There's not a lot of people, like I said, who show up. So the tips are not the best, but it's okay because even exposure is fine for me.
Sure.
You know, like getting my name out there and getting people to know who I am just because I am just stepping onto the scene.
Now, do you guys broadcast live so people can tip online? Because I see a lot of shows online and people have a lot of followers.
To be honest, I am not sure. Some of the other queens may, but personally, all I do is I have somebody record my whole performance and then I post it on my Instagram. Which, now that everybody knows my Cash App, Starboy88, you can all now go watch those videos and, you know...
Send you some cash.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you don't have to work a regular 9 to 5.
You get the
gist. Is that the goal?
That is the goal.
To sustain or support yourself by doing this? Like, is this a livelihood for you or is this entertainment?
This is not just entertainment. This is a whole life, my nigga. This is the real shit, you know? I do plan on going on RuPaul's Drag Race eventually.
Really?
Yes.
How do you get ready for something like that? Do you just audition and they pick you? But like, how does that?
To be honest, I don't know the full process. I'm sure you just audition, and if they think you're one of the baddest and have potential, you know. Then is it about performing or is it about being a bad bitch? Because I'm always confused when I watch that show. I don't watch it much, but like, what is it really about to be on that show? Coming from somebody who honestly has not watched a lot of Drag Race, I've watched some seasons. I've watched the latest two, season 12 and All Stars 5. I've watched both of those. I've watched a couple of other seasons, and I've watched a lot of like online tutorials and lip syncs for your lives, and you know, different challenges and stuff.
So you'd be on there for exposure, right? To build exposure.
Oh, no. When I go on RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm going to win. Okay. There's only one reason to go on that show for Majastique, and that's to win.
So for Majastique, being in the world of drag, because you're relatively new to this, right? You just start performing and all that and getting exposure. What kind of support system do you have, if any?
Well, I have my house. You know,
House of Ambrosia.
Yes, which they are initially a ballroom house.
So do you vote and all that stuff?
Just because I'm really new to ballroom, I don't try to dabble in something that I don't know how to do yet. Because if I'm gonna do something, I want to do it on point. You know,
right?
The first time. So, just because I'm not there yet and I'm still practicing, I like to just, you know, stay in my drag world for now.
So what are some of your influences? When you decide to get pretty together, look like you look today, what comes to mind? Who comes to mind?
To be honest, Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, my attitude, I would say...
attitude.
I love the sass of divas. Just like you're a diva, sir.
Wow.
Like
earlier you called me a queen, but that's okay.
Well, to be honest,
shots have been fired.
Well, I never meant to offend. Take it how you want it.
You did.
I've said my piece. You all heard it. Next case. What was your question again? I did smoke a little bit before our game, so.
Wow. No, I was just wondering. Well, you told me your influencer was Lady Gaga and Madonna. I mean, not Madonna, yes. But Nicki Minaj. And so I see the color, the big hair, the attitude, and that's all appropriate because it's good for television, as I was talking to you about earlier. I love the attitude and style and the glamour of it all. So tell us a little bit about, for those who don't know, the life of drag or houses or ballroom. We've talked about that a little bit before. What is the House of Ambrosia like, and what's some of the background, and why did you choose that one out of all the houses?
Well, I was approached by the House of Ambrosia, for one, because they only, you know...
Is there a large local base here in the Midwest?
Well, the founder of my house, Father Ambrosia, he started it. He has a house here in Kansas City for the Kansas City chapter, but he has other members across the country. I'm not too sure how many.
Would you have their blessings if you wanted to go on RuPaul? Do you have to get approval since you're representing the house, or is this like I do what I want?
Well, see, that's my thing. Another reason I joined the House of Ambrosia, well, a reason, because I didn't give one, is because they're very...
Your boobs are rubbing the microphone. It's fine. We can hear background noise.
Look.
Those boobies in the microphone.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to have my titties rubbing against them.
Right, I bet.
So,
what great nipples you have.
The better for you to lick on.
Clearly.
But, no, like, the House of Ambrosia. So, my mother, she's transgender. Tremont Seymour. I totally fucked her name up.
So when you say transgender, that means she lives as a woman.
She is a woman.
Okay.
She is a woman.
She's a woman.
She doesn't live as one. She is one. And trust me, if she were here, she would have told you the same thing.
Not to be offended and mess up pronouns. No, that's not the intent.
We're all a mess and we're all sassy.
Right. So, but the difference is what you do is you perform as a woman but live as a man. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I just took my balls away and I make this body look like an hourglass and I shake it.
It does. It looks beautiful. It's really beautiful.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So before we get into all of it, you talked about the influences in the state of the world. What are some of your goals going into the new year?
Some of my goals.
As a person, as a traditional male, and then what are some of your goals as a drag queen performer?
Okay. As a male, my goals are to be able to stay in my own lane. You know, sometimes having a big heart and caring a lot, it fucks you up. And it's not a bad thing to be a good person or have a good heart. It, family or, people taking advantage of shit, just negative people. So there's no point in it. Well, there's a point to it, but I really just want to focus on Tavion, stay in my own world. I'm about to start a new job, work that job, be happy, be healthy,
to support yourself. And so, in being the queen, what are some of your goals? Bigger platforms. We know you want to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. Then what?
Definitely.
Any gay prides if we have those again?
If there are gay prides again, I definitely wouldn't mind performing at one. Let's just there's a lot of queens out here, but really I just want to get myself out there more. Focus on bettering my drag every time. I always want to get better with every look, every performance, and that's all I want to do. Just continue to get better. And I wouldn't say RuPaul's Drag Race so soon, just because mentally I don't feel like I'm there, and I'm not going to self-sabotage. So, yeah.
All right, let's get into it then. We're going to get into the state of the world.
Yes.
We are here today to talk about so much stuff with the state of the world of black gay, black power, the state of the world and how people are treating us, but more importantly, what it means to vote and how safe is the world of our transgender community and how safe is the world of our drag queens and just being gay and black and what that means. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. I noticed when I seen you earlier, we were in a urban environment. We both live in a very urban environment. And I don't mean the hood by any means, but I mean we live in the city. Mm-hmm. And you walked out in this beautiful gown or outfit, or I don't know what you would call this ensemble. It's beautiful, but it's very feminine. And how do you muster up in the world, because we really shouldn't even be talking about this anymore, but how do you muster up the attitude and I don't give a fuck what people think. I don't care if some man, finds it offensive or he doesn't understand my gayness or me being a drag queen. How do you muster that up and feel comfortable in that and more importantly, safe? Because you just walked out there like, I give zero fucks.
Well, that's what you have to do.
But that comes from somewhere.
I've always been that person to be on, to a certain extent, I kind of feel like I've always had to be that person. Just because, I mean, being gay, you have people pick on you.
Sure.
You know, being black, you have the racism that comes with shit. And if you let shit affect you and tear you down, obviously, you're not your best person. I get dressed, I look beautiful for a living. Y'all pay me for this shit. So I want to put out there the best, you know, the best version of Majastique. I want y'all to see her at her most glowing. I mean, you'll see her when she's down, but I want to express, like, just the feeling that you got. That's what I always want to exert. Mm-hmm. So, really, it's just not caring. And to be honest, weed helps. Weed helps. You know, it does help with anxiety and people's opinion.
Wait a minute, did you say weed?
Weed, marijuana.
So substance. Although we don't advocate for that, but it is legal in California. So,
I do not advocate for it. If you are against it, if that's not your belief system, if you're against it.
Yeah, but it's a natural substance. Why would you be against it? I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't. I don't understand why you'd be against it if it is natural and because it doesn't have it's not as bad as people make it out to say.
You know what? Here's what I don't understand: that all the judges of homophobic and the weed smokers of the world or substance. You put all this liquor and wine and all kind of shit that they have sweeteners and everything else in, but a natural substance like a herb you have a problem with. I just don't get it. We sit and eat pancakes with all kind of fillers and other shit in it, but you got a problem with weed.
Going right to McDonald's.
We sit and go and eat red meat and we've killed all these animals, but you got a problem with weed.
Wendy's 4 for 4.
Right. So I don't eat red meat for a lot of reasons. I don't do other stuff for a lot of reasons, but I just don't know how people get in a space where they judge people. And we're going to talk about the black church and all that a little bit later on. But we're going to stay on the world of black transgender and in the gay community. So you said, you know, it's always been your attitude. Have you already been in a space where you've been bullied or anything like that?
I mean, that comes with the territory of being gay and being out. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, instead of letting it beat me down and you know, not being the best person that I can be, I choose to be myself. I choose to love myself. I do love myself, and that's just another thing, you know, mm-hmm. just loving yourself and really not caring what other people think. You know, sometimes, I'm not going to say sometimes what other people say or whatever doesn't affect me, but you have to get to I feel like everyone needs to get to a point to where it's like, okay, what someone else says really does not define who I am. Right. I know who I am.
That's right.
If you know who you are at the end of the day, that's all that fucking matters.
So for a little kid listening, or not even a little kid, or a little 17-year-old, somebody who just finds it fascinating to dress up, but doesn't quite have the courage, but it is in their inner spirit, what do you say to them?
Do that shit.
Just do it?
Do that shit.
And then if it says, okay, but my mom's going to kick me out, then what? Because I'm going to tell you how I feel about that, but how do you feel about that? Do you suppress what you feel so you're going to appease your family, or you say, fuck it, I'm going to be put on this wig, and if you like me, fuck off?
I believe to the latter. If you don't like this, fuck off. Yeah. If it, you know, obviously you want to have a support system. You know, if you're 17 Correct. Or 16 or 15 or underage, or if you cannot support yourself monetarily, sometimes you have to smile, you know, smile until you can make it. But at least do things to get yourself to that point to where you can get out on your own and be yourself. That's the thing. It's not about the circumstances or, you know, what, you know, if your mother doesn't like it or if your friends don't like you being in a wig or whatever. It's, are you able to support it? Are you happy? That's all that really fucking matters.
See, I feel this way. So when I came out at 15, thank God my family supported me or whatever, but I was ready to be out on the streets because that's how strongly I felt about my gayness and my blackness and me being proud. And I just had a long argument with one of my friends who's going to be on the show for the new year. And this particular person hasn't told his grandmother yet. And I'm like, why not? Everybody else knows you're out on your own. You don't depend on her for anything. Stop making other people... Don't suppress your happiness to make somebody else feel comfortable. I do not believe in suppressing who I am, oppressing myself just because my cousin, who's maybe 80, ain't comfortable with that. That's her fucking problem. That's not my problem that you don't like my gayness. I don't like all the dicks you suck. But I'm not judging you.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, who the fuck I decide to love it really doesn't affect you.
That's right.
Whether you're my auntie, my sister, my brother, my grandma,
Preach.
a hobo on the street, a stranger in Walmart, I will kiss the fuck out of my man in the middle of Walmart.
I try to
give me a hickey on my neck, middle of aisle 14. Don't play with me.
Period.
But, it doesn't matter. If you don't like it, mind your fucking business.
Mind your own business. That's your problem. Let's get into the state of the world, because we know what it is about gay and things like that. I want your opinion on, and as much as you know, you may not know all the statistics or the stats, but we are finding that close to 1 in 4, 1 in 8, drag queens, people transgender, are being gunned down, murdered, hidden in the back basement after some straight sick guy took them to some motel and wanted to dick them down but wanted nobody to know, and then you decide to kill them. The war on transgender and drag queen in the gay black community is real. Your thoughts on that?
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's always been a problem. I mean, the fact that we have so much representation. I mean, drag has a huge representation right now. Transgender, I mean, just the whole LGBTQ community has so much representation right now. Like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of negativity, but if you sit here and focus about the representation we have and what we can do, that kind of paves the way for what we can't do. But we're at least getting somewhere. At least we can move there. Just move towards it. We already, I don't remember what state or any of that, or exactly what position, but there's a transgender person who got into a serious political position.
That's right.
In the last debates. So the representation that is there, when you look at people in that position, you see what you have. You're gay, you're transgender, whatever. Yes, there's a lot against you, but take what is there. And yes, it's scary as fuck. It of course it's gonna be, but you have to overcome it. It's what you focus on. If you focus on the positive, and try to work on the negative while focusing on the positive, we can get somewhere.
So just as you were talking about it, in 2020, this year during COVID, what you're going to talk about being gay and COVID and what that means to suppress and be alone. But in the general election, voters elected 6 transgender candidates to state office, a historic turn that will increase the number of trans elected officials in the state legislators from 4 to 7 nationwide votes in states. Openly trans candidates were elected to Arkansas, California, Colorado, Delaware, Illinois, Kansas, New Hampshire, and Vermont. So, like you were talking about, that is huge.
I mean,
the world is changing,
especially in Kansas.
Yeah,
I mean,
you Kansas of all places, right?
You look at some of the reddest places who are opening up to these ideas. Okay, maybe these are just actual fucking people. Maybe these aren't monsters. Maybe they're not monsters. Maybe they are just people, and we're getting open to that, So, like I said, the representation is there. What are we going to do with it?
And also to add to that, Illinois set a milestone electing its first openly transgender person, Jim Rose Quinn, as a judge in Cook County. I used to live out in Chicago. Shout out to Cook County. Very urban, so it doesn't surprise me there. But what does surprise me is that Black people are now turning the page and supporting transgender, where that used to not be a norm. In Cook County, if you don't know about Illinois, is very Black, very urban. It's not rural. I think more rural people find a problem with transgender drag queens than Black people. I think Black people have, certainly understand the world of oppression and being set in the background. And I think it is good that we are the community that will always support everybody when nobody cares about us. Talk to me about the state of the world and what it means, because we're not talking about this anymore because it's COVID. We're not talking about HIV anymore. And I want to know why we as Black people, gay people, will put on every single effing mask and plastic bag to cover up, but we won't wear a condom during sex. Why? Or your thoughts?
I mean, it's honestly not only Black people.
Yeah, we know that, but
straight.
HIV really impacts us, and we don't have the health care, so it oppresses us and suppresses us. So we need to talk about HIV in the black community versus COVID.
Well, I just want to say, when the black community is already very much underrepresented, and there's something that affects the black community, do you really think that's about to get discussed or put in the fucking spotlight? No.
Yeah, but why are we not doing it? All these black actors and models are talking about, you gotta put a face mask on, put a condom on. Why are we not talking about that? We understand COVID. We get it.
I mean,
Coronavirus!
Get it.
Coronavirus!
Shit is getting real.
It is. But why don't we have HIV? HIV! Your thoughts?
To be honest, HIV has just been a whole conversation that has kind of been put on the back burner to a certain extent.
That's sad.
Since in all communities, not even just the black community, but I feel in all communities, because now we have a cure for it. Mm-hmm. Like, coronavirus is something we don't have a cure for. We know nothing about it.
Well, we don't have a cure for HIV. We have pills so you can live.
Okay,
there's no cure for it.
Okay, there's no cure for it, but you have something that still allows you to live a happy life and not transmit it. That's the most important thing. When you are undetectable, you cannot transmit shit.
Okay.
And that's
don't we want to be safe?
In that moment, sir, even you know, and don't sit across from me and look at me and tell me that even in that moment, that shit is hot.
Yeah, I would agree, but I don't advocate for that just because of that.
Nobody said you have to advocate it, but you said let's have a conversation. Let's have the conversation.
But the conversation is not about what I did in a moment of passion.
Why
are we not wrapping up and we will wear a fucking mask?
It's why are you trying to bring this conversation to me when you understand exactly why we're not having this conversation? Because you understand the pleasure of it.
Yes, but that don't mean I'm currently doing it anymore. Those are things I've done in the past. But when you know better, you do better.
Okay, well, you're having a conversation now. Let's start a conversation. Why don't you bring some facts and start? If you want to have a conversation, let's have
What are the facts?
Well, you want to have the conversation. You brought it to me.
I did. So, but I'm saying you're talking about what I did.
I know.
That doesn't excuse the behavior.
I already talked about what I know and the facts that I know to be true.
Yeah, but no, all you said was, in the heat of the moment, I'm not wearing a condom. That doesn't make it okay.
I didn't just say that.
You need to cover up. And you need to make your man or your partner's cover up.
You do. I do agree. You need to have protective sex and have safe sex.
Unless you're married or in a relationship, but even then if you're dating a whore.
Even then, because sometimes you don't know you're dating a whore, but you're dating a whore.
Oh, don't I know that? I've dated some whores in the past.
Look, haven't we all?
Well, you probably haven't, have you? You probably had good, solid men. I've had whores.
Let me explain something to you.
Not my ex, though. Shout out to my ex. He's been pretty perfect.
Okay, calm down, little mix. Shout out to my ex. Sit down somewhere. But no, men are all shit. So
shout out to the men who listen. You're not shit. You're kings. You're kings. You're my heroes.
Let me explain something to you. If you are a cheater, if you are if you're a cheater, if you're a domestic abuser, you are not shit. If you are a good person, if you treat people with respect, if you are non-judgmental, if you just mind your own fucking business and are respectful to everybody else and their fucking decisions, you are a good person and you are not shit. You are the shit.
Can we just talk about how beautiful you look today? Thank you for being here. I didn't thank you properly at the beginning of the show. We're having a conversation with Majastique Ambrosia. Yes, here live. One of the Midwest star queens here performs every Wednesday at the Parlor. You can go out and check her out. And your Cash App is?
Starboy88.
We are so glad to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us on our last show of 2020. I may have another one, depending on if this guy gets in town. I'm not going to call him out.
That is Starboy with the I, because I'm that person. STARBOI 88.
Majastique Ambrosia, performer, legendary, beautiful, great nipples, radiant. Wow, and the hourglass figures is beautiful. It is so good to have you here. Thank you for being here with me today. We are here talking about the state of the world and the black gay community, transgender, GLBTQ+, because there's so many letters. I think those are all of them, all the pronouns. So we're not here to offend anybody or step on anything. Sometimes everybody gets it wrong, even though I'm a gay black male. I may not say all the pronouns correctly, so my apologies in advance. You can find this and every other podcast on Apple, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and wherever streaming services are available. Now, let's talk about this election. Because I'm curious, well, before the election, let's talk about COVID, because that is huge. COVID, we're starting to trickle in some vaccines. What have you been doing other than performing since COVID? And what has your mental capacity been like? Because as black people, 1, gay people, 2, you being a drag queen performer, 3, and COVID and the world shut down, 4, how have you been and what have you been doing? Like, what's your mind space like?
Mind space, I've been at home trying not to lose my shit as everyone else.
Has weed helped that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Have you been having a lot of sex?
Look,
a little sex or a lot of sex?
I've been having a little sex.
Has that helped?
A little sex. It has. Getting that is as much as I don't want to advocate.
I think what it
for
is
other
that
people.
but I think you're onto something. Let's say it first here. Sex can be helpful during time when you have to quarantine and be alone. I think it's that intimacy and passion and that contact that everybody misses. So I think sex could be the cure. I think we're onto something.
I mean, to a certain extent, I feel like sex can be the cure because not everyone can handle sex correctly.
What does that mean?
I mean, some people, not everybody wants to get attached. Some people just want to fuck.
Right.
Some people, when you have sex with them, their feelings get attached and they think they can handle it.
Yep.
But really, bitch, you need to get you a dildo,
yeah,
or a flesh jack or something and play with yourself.
Yeah.
Because
I get attached easily.
And that's
I fall in love in 3 weeks, easily.
Well, let me just...
If somebody put it on me and I'm attracted to him and we're conversations first, but then we actually have sex, I'm going to be in love in 3 weeks.
Well, you definitely...
I'll be ready to pay somebody's bills, easily. Yeah. So if somebody put that monkey meat on me, I'm paying bills. Because I fall in love quick.
That monkey meat, what the fuck?
I think we all know what monkey meat is.
I know exactly what it is, but boy, I've never heard that one before.
So to finish, you've been doing what? So you've been smoking weed, having casual encounters. What else you been doing? How have you been getting through it?
I've been breathing a lot. Also, in the time of just stress, like everybody is sitting in a boiling pot right now that has been on boil for the past months. So everybody's in that time, and one of my mothers, Mitsu, she had taught me, in times of stress, when everyone's stressed, some things may not come out correctly.
Yeah.
So to be honest, trying to deal with problems with people right now is not the best time because everyone's on 10. Why are you going to deal with a stressful situation when it's a stressful situation in that moment? When nobody can deal with it correctly.
That's right.
Just because and to be honest, nobody wants to be here, but here the fuck we are. So, like I said, I've just been staying at home, staying high, staying fed well, because I like to eat.
Yeah, but you're so perfectly thin and beautiful.
Look, it's called a fast metabolism, and I mean, I do dance,
No, you perform. I've seen. And you do a great job, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Shout out to you.
Thank you. Don't start pumping my head up.
Oh, I'm giving you all the gasoline. I love the lashes.
Let me tell you something, and now you got me over here by the smell.
You haven't stopped milling with your hair since I've seen you an hour ago. Like, what is going on?
I don't know. I want it to be perfect, and it's never going to be
It won't be if you don't leave it the fuck alone.
And that's the fucking problem, but I can't stop.
Yes, you can.
Drag queen problems.
Okay, well. At least your boobs are beautiful.
They are lovely. Yeah. I mean,
I'm a fan of boobs. No homo.
That is far from homo unless you're a lesbian.
Ew. Well, not ill to I should have did that. Not ill to lesbians. I don't know.
Get him.
The lesbian community love me. I would never say anything to them that would offend. I hope. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so you've been chilling out during the COVID process in the election because we had some words about why I'm a Republican and the way I viewed it, or the way I felt like you were asking me that, was an attack. And by the black community, I've been asked that before. I think what people confuse is black people used to be Republicans eons ago. That's what we were until that changed. Eons. And that changed.
Keywords, eons ago.
Right.
Just keep that in mind.
However, what makes a Republican versus a Democrat? My thing is this. Are you better off than you were before that person and while they were in office? Like when Barack and Clinton was in office, or when Kamala, held her position in California, there were more black people incarcerated in California under her leadership than any other person when she was, the Attorney General of California. So it's not always about that. I think sometimes we vote like our grandparents and our mothers do, and we don't really understand what we're voting for or on or against. So I'm a conservative Republican, meaning about finance and money, because I work in finance and things like that. I don't always believe in spending every single thing it is to take care of every single problem, but I'm not a Trump Republican, and I don't support like the Mitch McConnells of the world who don't care about people. You got to care about and put people first. However, we got to teach people how to fish other than continue to give them fish. If we give them fish, they won't learn how to fish and be self-sustained. It's why I'm a Republican. I'm very conservative. But with that, I am one of those people who believe a woman owns the right to her body. There's no way you can tell me, I'm pro-lifer and a woman can't get an abortion. How? That's her motherfucking body. You can't tell her what she can and can't do. I don't care how many weeks along she is. So I'm really confused at many times because I don't never vote a straight ticket. But what are your thoughts when it comes to just life and the democratic process? Where are you at?
Well, personally, I don't. You can call me whatever you want.
Maybe you're independent.
Well, and to be honest, that is what I would prefer to call myself. Just because I believe the Republican Party
is trash right now, yes.
I mean, both parties are trash. All parties are trash. I mean, like Abraham Lincoln said, a house that is divided will not stand. So when you have a Democrat and a Republican Party going against each other, that's still a house that is divided that will not stand. Get it together.
You better preach. You preaching right now. Those are messages. Because that is very true. Like, if you're not better off and you're not doing well, I think a lot of people can say a lot of messages. Now, listen. Anything and anybody's better than Trump. But Biden has been doing this for 40 plus years. And I'm telling you, with his crime bill, stuff like that, he hasn't always served in the best interest of African Americans or people of color. I am hopeful by the way, as people get older, they tend to do better. He's approaching 80. And the things he's doing and the people he's putting in his cabinet, or electing the people to put in his cabinet, is the right foot forward. And that's all we can hope for him. I mean, he's making historic changes by putting people in
Let me ask you a question
power.
real quick. Historic changes how?
Well, I'm just talking about the people of color that look like me and you, transgender cabinet picks, people who are sympathetic to our needs. Because if you put a bunch of people who are all white men who have never been what I went through, or have never been pulled over just because I didn't turn on my signal, if you put people in position that look like me and you who understand our needs, they can't do anything but to be sympathetic and want to take action on what.
Yeah, but sometimes. Okay.
I'm hopeful. I don't know what they'll do, but I'm hopeful they'll do right.
As I was saying earlier, I'm big on the representation part, obviously. But if you can be a black person still not be sound to run the country.
Kamala.
Exactly. See, Joe Biden is not my pick either. Like I said, both parties are trash. But Joe Biden had to be president because Trump could not be president.
Well, he doesn't serve in the interest of the people. I mean, that's clear.
He's for himself and his wallet. I mean, the man.
Well, he's trash.
When you look at the way he even treats his wife, and you really think that he gives two shits about you sitting in rural America, come on, Stacey, let's have a conversation.
I just don't understand how so many people, the 73 plus million people, continue to vote for him. I'm like, how is your life better off? You're still poor.
Well, see, here's my thing. Here's just my personal belief. When you're a kid, that is what is shaping your life. Joe Biden, the reason he's not working is because when he was a kid, he grew up in a world where oppression against black people, gay people, even women, transgender people, was just the norm.
Yeah.
I mean, when you keep putting old people who grew up in a time where you have to always, it's always stick it to the police, stick it to the police, stick it to the man, stick it to the man, stick it to the man. That's all you're ever going to get produced out. Yeah. When you put someone who grew up in a time where it's, okay, well, black people can't drink at this water fountain, only white people. Sure. This nigger, to be frank, right. If you need to block that out, go ahead. But I'll say it again, nigger, just because, and that's not to offend anybody, but it's a reality. We're having a conversation. Let's have it. If you keep putting those people who grew up in that time frame with that mindset, who grew up around that mindset when the world or America, which is his own world itself, they grew up in that shape. That's burned into their mindset. That's who they are. That's not going anywhere. So to be honest, I think we need to have like an age barrier. Like after a certain age, you should not be trying to run. Like if we're not going to trust our own grandpa or uncle to run this country, why are we trusting somebody else's? And I'm sorry. I am so sorry, but white people. Why are we trusting white people? White older people who grew up in that mindset, who grew up with families who talk that shit to them. And that's nothing against white people. I don't think that all white people are racist, but I'm saying if we're going to make sure that we take this country in a progressive way, in a way where everybody is equal, that's what we need to do.
Do you think when Biden was in with Obama, do you think they did enough to move us forward, the black community? Did they do enough? Could Obama get anything passed? Because I know Senate, he had a problem with Senate. Were they able to do enough? Did he fight hard enough, those two?
From what I've seen, Obama did...
as much as he could?
Obama did what Obama did. I don't know fully what Obama did.
Because that's the common answer. I think Obama was a feel-good president, right?
Well, in a world where so many people want change, just like you were saying earlier, and when I questioned you on it, with Biden putting all these, putting black people I understand the representation, but representation is not all we need to get the job done.
Amen.
We also need people who we know for a fact have mindsets to actually do the fucking work. Yeah. Like a lot of these government people, they're not doing the work, but they're just taking our money.
Wow.
Why have we sat so long without a second stimulus check?
6 months to be exact.
That makes no sense. And you guys are going on recess again?
Well,
but there's so many Americans, so many children who are going to go without a Christmas. There's so many people who are homeless because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
And the government, the people that the people fucking pay, are not doing their job.
Not we elected and pay. I don't understand how you continue to put the Mitch McConnells and people like that back, and the Lindsey Grahams back in the Senate and vote for them when they've done absolutely nothing for you. Well, your hatred is so deep, you continue to vote for Trump and the likes of him.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think...
it's hatred. It's a deep hatred.
I don't always think it's hatred.
It has to be.
No, just like you said, people vote. Sometimes you gotta vote off based off of how you will be off in the end. That's... No. If you have money, you're gonna do what you gotta do to keep that money, correct?
Correct. But if you're poor... more people are poor than rich. Why do you vote for the likes of that when your life hasn't improved?
Well, hold on. But a lot of people aren't... I mean... A lot of people who are voting for these people aren't poor.
Okay, but if your life has not improved, why would you continue to vote and support something like that?
I mean, but sometimes people's life are improving.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you a better question. Just like you alluded to, 6 months of not another bailout stimulus package. The election was only so many weeks ago.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. That's my point. I wasn't trying to get an answer from you specifically. I'm just saying out loud.
Yeah.
You've been poor. You lost your job, but yet you want to put the same people back in the White House who've done nothing for you. Why?
I don't.
Well, we do know. It's hatred. Your hatred is so deep, and you believe in what Trump is saying. And the divide is why, because you want the whites to say whites and blacks to say blacks and have separate water fountains. Some people just don't want to talk about the state of the world. Racism is still deep in America. It's just they can't have the black and white water fountains anymore. But they would prefer to have it that way if they could.
A lot of people don't even understand that racism is a thing. Like, when you look at these small rural towns, nobody gets out of them.
because they want to stay in their same communities.
Well, I mean, and when you think about it, people stay in their community. Why? Because they feel safe. Correct. Okay.
Or want to see people that look exactly like them.
Exactly. Either you feel safe or you want to see people who look exactly like you. And when you don't go out and venture the world and you're only exposed to the same kind of, old traditional, water fountains and segregation, and
old values.
Shit. Like when you're born into that family and that's what your family is teaching you or whatever, and that's all you're exposed to. That's a thing. That's why. Excuse me, I'm over here burping and hoping nobody's hearing it.
We don't hear it.
Perfect.
You're a lady.
Thank you. I know that's right. Y'all better not act funny. But so it was a thing when all the Democratic parties, all the Democratic candidates were running and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was like Fox News. They were like, oh, well, the Democrats can, come on and do, whatever, say they want to say. And what's her name? Elizabeth Warren was like, oh, they're this, and this, and this, and this. I'm not going to do that. If you never reach across to those people, if you, like, I understand, yeah, Fox does push a lot of, like, false information, but girl, if you have the right information, why not go speak that shit? Like, if you want to change shit, you have to go to the people who...
That's right.
Whose mind you're trying to change.
That's exactly right.
Because we're not trying to change, other progressives' minds. We're trying to change people who have these old values. We're trying to change their minds. If we continue to, like, deter from the conversation or run from the conversation or be like, oh, I'm not going to support that or whatever, even if, go do that shit.
Right.
Because it's for representation.
Well, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, who will probably...
Now, he did do it.
Yeah, he was on Fox every week. Yes. And who's probably going to be elected to the House Secretary of State or whatever. Transportation. He'll be doing that. And I think he's a great pick who happens to be part of the GLBT plus community, who has a male husband. So shout out to him. I think he will have a huge impact on the state of the world. Just one more pick for Biden and Kamala. I love the Biden I'm seeing now, but I wonder why often too many times it always takes white men, especially, to wait till they're almost near death to start wanting to make an impact. Are they trying to get to heaven? I just don't understand that, because he's had 40 years to make these types of impacts and statements and to fight for the state of the world. I think he just... Hey, but listen, I can go back and dig up everybody's past. As long as he's doing it now to move us forward during the worst time in America's life, I'm here for the shit. I know he's got a lot of work ahead of him and Kamala, or some people say Kamala. They have a lot of work, but listen, the facts are the facts. He probably will not survive his full term or another term. I'm not saying I don't want him to, but she's going to be in charge. She's going to have a lot of weight on her shoulders, and I'm just hope that she is not a true through and through politician like I think she might be. I hope she really cares about the people. And I know in the Senate, she's been trying to pass a lot of bills that protects us, people of color. And I don't know if that's because she through and through feels that way, or she really is just trying to get a point across so she can get elected to a bigger office. So that will be yet to be seen. Because, listen, she will be the next president. Those are the facts.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Joe Biden is too old. He won't make it.
Well... Personally, I think that we need to be trying to find somebody for the next election to replace Joe Biden.
It'll be Kamala.
If he makes it or not.
Well, she's the elected vice president. She will be the next president if something happens to him.
Yeah,
that's just how it works.
I mean, I get that, but that's also like trying to plan based on maybe he'll die or maybe something happens.
But you always have to plan for that.
I mean, but we also have to plan for what we know to be true. The fact that we need to find somebody to replace him in 4 years if the nigga is still alive.
That's going to be the vice president, Kamala.
Wait, but she's not. Is she really the pick?
She's in office. She's going to be the pick because she's going to want it. She wanted it because she ran against him to get it. You don't think she's going to move everybody out of their way? So if he says, I can't do another 4 years because I'm old and feeble, you don't think they're going to elect the vice president who's currently in office?
But just,
that's crazy.
But just like you and I sit here and think that Kamala
wants
and
it, trust me.
Biden were not the people to have the fucking
I am
office.
telling you, nobody's going to challenge her if something happens. There's no Democrat that's going to challenge her. They're going to get out of her way so she can run if she wants it.
If there is anyone out there,
They won't. I'm
with the
telling you.
smarts and the money. Look,
That's not how it works. I'm telling you, it won't happen.
Well, look.
I will keep this on record for you. In 4 years, nobody's going to compete against her. That's politics at its finest.
I'm going to put this on record that Majastique said, I do not think that if she runs, nobody's going to run against her, just given all the people that don't like her.
Okay, you've heard it here first. Kings of the Village.
Because when you look
You're
at
wrong, but okay.
When you look at it, she's
going to be the vice president. She's already got the willpower and the money behind her and the PACs and all that.
She can have all that shit, but
nobody's going to get in her way.
We had a dumbass be, elected as president. So
that was y'all fault. That's y'all black people fault. Y'all listen. Here's the thing about this. Don't get me started on y'all black folks.
Oh,
y'all get so mad.
Oh,
no. I'll let you finish and then you can rebuttal. Black folks get so invested in stuff. It's like, oh well, there's no way he's gonna win. I'm not going to vote. Black people only want to vote when they want to vote. Many times we have lost so much because black people don't get up and go vote. Offset of the Migos said, oh, I'm voting for the first time. How the fuck you 30 and just now voting? I got another person, a friend in my group, I voted for the first time in this election. How? Where the fuck you been? Why have you not shown up? That is your problem. Stop complaining about the powers that be or our police department if you are not a part of the solution. No, black people are also problematic.
I mean, everybody can be problematic, but yes,
vote.
Yes, black people.
I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about black people.
Black people do need to vote more. That's definitely something.
We are more disenfranchised than anybody else on the planet. I don't care if white people don't vote. We should have 100% vote turnout because we've been treated so poorly for centuries. And yet, I'm gonna sit this one out, bro, and go smoke a blunt. The fuck why? You can't be my friend if you don't vote. You are disgusting. You are a trash of a human being if you don't vote.
Oh, well, I feel like that was extra steps to be taken.
And I'm saying it. Come after me. Come find me.
Get him.
I'll tell you to your face.
Get him. I got the address. Just hit me up. Add me on Instagram, share a few things, and you can get the address.
Wow. So I'm going to be dead tomorrow. So if something happened to me, the House of Ambrosia is responsible for my death.
Well, I wouldn't put that on the whole household.
Nope, you represent it.
That's the thing.
Yes, you do.
I represent the House of Ambrosia, but Majastique is also her own woman.
Are you, though? Are you? If somebody take care of you and sponsors you, support you, are you your own person? That's just a question.
Let me explain something to you, sir.
I don't believe that.
Let me explain something to you, sir.
Explain.
I will be worth. These titties, I bought. This ass, I bought. The gaff that holds these balls and dick up in me and together,
oh my God,
I bought. So yes, I am my own person.
So what's the purpose of a house then? If you're your own person and take care of all of that, then you don't need a house.
I mean, because just like you said, there's so many black gay people, or gay people to be exact, that were either disowned from their family when coming out, put on the streets when coming out, who don't have a family. That is
so
why
you
houses
want a family, but not support.
Well, no, that's why houses were
mental support.
Well, you asked me a question. Let me finish before you start rambling on, sir. But like I was saying, thank you.
You take it too long. Come on.
But no, houses. I mean, that's what houses were made for. I'm letting you know.
I know all this. I was gay before you were born.
Oh, well, I mean, you're
double
asking,
your age.
But you're asking questions like you don't
I'm asking you specifically why you're in it. If you feel like they're not doing anything for you, or is it just support?
I never said it's not like they're not doing anything for me.
I know you didn't.
Because I wouldn't be performing if it was not for my house.
Good for you. I'm happy for you.
I wouldn't have the exposure.
We have a few more minutes. I do want to know something specifically, and thanks for sharing all your thoughts. You're extremely intelligent. I love this conversation with you about the state of the world. But back to you before we get out of here. We only have a couple more minutes. Before, I want you to tell people again where they can find you in Cash App, but not ready for that just yet. I want to know about what are some of the processes for you to get prepared to become who you are right now. What does it take for that little person listening in India or South Asia and Africa? What is the transition from who you are to becoming Majastique? Is that 2 hours, 3 hours? Is it a mental thing? How do you get ready?
First I grind the weed. I put it on my little cute tray, and I scoop it up, and I put it into the blunt and roll it, and then I light that bitch. Mm-hmm. And then I wash my face. I make sure I'm shaved and clean.
Okay.
We get primed, put it all on.
What are some of the best products? If I want to be from a man to a woman.
Well, I mean, the necessary products for one is primer, because your skin is the most delicate fabric.
And what does primer do for us?
Primer creates a barrier from all the pounds of makeup that I put on, so I don't get a bunch of breakouts and fucked up skin. So I can still be sexy as a man and be bad as
You're a very handsome man, by the way.
Thank you.
No homo.
Very homo.
Okay, so you put the primer on. Does it need to set for an hour, or you just go right into makeup?
Well, personally, I don't know how other people do it, but I put the primer on, and then I put my color corrector on to hide this beard. And then I also have, I have natural acne because I have oily skin. So then I put...
Me too.
That on, too. And then I set it, and then I go ahead with foundation, and then the rest
What is all that spray I always see him putting on? What does that mean? I see spray. Is that to set it?
There is a setting mist that you can use,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then you do all the makeup, lashes. Can you wear lashes as a man, or is that only when you want to perform?
If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. If I want to go and wear acrylic nails Monday through Friday as a man, I will fucking do it. If I want to wear a skirt, if I want to wear a dress, I will do what I want to do.
Let me ask you this. I know a lot of people worry about the dating life as a drag queen or a transgender woman. Have you hit any hiccups by saying, by the way, I performed, you guys are like, ill? Or are they like, oh, that's cool, shorty?
A lot of people... Well, okay, so this gets into sex. I am versatile.
Mm-hmm. Because that doesn't mean you're a bottom just because you put on a woman's dress.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I know I know straight tops that are drag queens.
I do too.
So just because you'll sit there and look like you have a fake vagina, don't think that they're getting fucked, because some of these men...
Well, they're still men at the end of the day. Let's be very clear.
Exactly. But I am versatile.
So explain to me, because you seem very explicit, which I love. What is the art of tucking? Because a lot of people don't know what that means. We have a very diverse audience. So I'll say it in the lamest terms. Tucking means you're hiding your penis. You're either pulling it back, you're tucking it in yourself. But what is the real art of doing it?
I mean,
to get the best results and be comfortable all night.
You're just hiding your balls. With your balls and your dick. Personally, I use a gaff, which is something where I put my balls and my dick in, and I pull it back.
Is it comfortable all night?
It's snug. Mm-hmm. And that's about it. It's snug. I mean, I really can't feel them unless... I mean, I have had some times where I'm in the middle of dancing and my ball slips out of my gaff, so now it's hanging between my gaff and my thigh, which is very uncomfortable.
And how do you recover from that? Do you go in the back, or you just keep doing the show?
Well, to be honest, the last time I performed and that happened, I kind of slammed my crotch into a splits, which pulled my ball back inside the gaff, which worked out well.
Good for you. So you've mastered, in just a short time, you figured out how to make it work for you.
Well, I mean, like you said, I'm a man. I've touched on my balls a lot, so I know exactly how to control them.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for you. I'm glad you know how to get your life together. Well, listen, Majastique Ambrosia, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Listen, you can find this conversation, this show, this podcast on all streaming devices and networks: Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, hell, everywhere. Wherever we at, where streaming platforms you get them at, you can find us. We're also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Before we let you go, though, where can we find the illustrious performer of the Midwest? Where can they find your Cash App, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, your OnlyFans, your Tumblr? Where can people find you, and how do we support you?
Okay, well, supporting, you can always like, share, comment, heart, do all that shit. Specifically share, that's obviously. That's how you go viral. My Cash App name is Starboy88, STARBOI, not Y, 88. My Instagram name is Majastique the Queen, MAJASTIQUETHEQUEEN. My Facebook name is Tavion Franklin, TAV as in Victor, ION, space, FRANKLIN.
Majastique, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Originally from California, now I'm back in Kansas City, Missouri, performing for the first time, actually first month, right? First couple of months, brand new to this.
Brand new to the scene.
And we we both share being Leos together, so no wonder the smart ass mouth and comments all the time. So we're both. Your birthday is what? The 5th?
August 13th.
Oh, a day before mine.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no wonder you're so nutty.
Oh,
jeez.
Look. Don't act like you don't like it.
So for those who asked, favorite color from this legendary performer is pink. So if you want to get some pretty pink panties, she has a very, very petite waist.
Well, pink panties isn't the
you
thing.
You said you like pink.
I know, but I prefer.
What's wrong with pink panties?
I'm talking about pink heels, pink wigs. Look,
pink
look,
wigs?
look. No, I take all gifts.
Oh, I know that's right. All gifts. Me too. Hit me up. Steph-on is how you can find me on this podcast. I got links.
My mother taught me not to turn down a free mail.
You better take those pink panties. Size? What are you, size 4?
Just get something that's small and elastic. It'll stretch. It'll fit. One size fits all.
Okay, well then that means you can send me a pair too. I want a size 4. I'm a size 4 dude. I gotta cover up all this ass. All right, Majastique Ambrosia, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. And listen, no matter what you believe in and no matter where you are, you too can be a king of your village. I'm Steph-on. Until next time, go out and make it a perfect day.